Hello and welcome to another daily lesson with AM language. Today's lesson, we are going to look at the modal verb might, and we're going to look at how we can use might to talk about the past, to talk about the present, and to talk about the future. So that is the subject of today's lesson. Now, I'm just going to upload today's lesson onto, I'm just going to upload it, share it, so more people can join. And then we can get into the lesson. And sometimes this happens to me. I go live and I can't find the video. I don't know why this happens to me. I probably will have to wait. But I kind of think to myself, well, if I can't find it, maybe other people can't find it either. Irina, thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Lovely to see you here. I'm glad you found the link. I guess I just need to, I just need to reload. I think that's what I need to do. Well, I hope you enjoyed your lessons today. Hope your lessons are going well. It's really nice to be back at school as well, seeing students come in. And even though we have to social distance and all the rest of it, I think things are going quite well. I'm quite pleased with the way things have gone so far, personally. I think the transition back to physical classrooms has been good. Right. I don't know why. Newest? No, can't find it there. Okay, right. Hey, there we go. Finally, it's come up, so now I can share. It took a while today to actually show, so I'm not surprised we don't have many people as of now, but I think that's about to change. Okay, there we go. Shared. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now we've got some more people joining. It's an annoying thing with YouTube sometimes. You try to find the link and it takes a bit of time to upload. I do need to learn. I do need to teach myself how to improve the online lessons, how to have the background screen, set the date and time for future lessons so it's easier to find. That way I won't end up running into these sort of problems. Alejandro, welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining us. So if you are a pre-intermediate student, I hope your level test went well today. If you are an intermediate student, likewise, I hope you had good lessons. Irina, welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. So in today's lesson, there will be something for everybody. There's, like I said, we're going to be looking at the modal verb might. We're going to look at how to use might to talk about events, ideas, for example, situations in the present. We're going to look at how you can use might to talk about the past. And we are also going to look at how you can use might to talk about the future. So we're going to look at three different times, past, present, and future, all around the modal verb might. Stefano says, good afternoon, dear teacher. Good afternoon, Stefano. Welcome to today's lesson. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm going to give people just a few more minutes and then I shall begin. It is a really sunny day. It's a lovely day today. I think I might end up in the future. I do know that 4 o'clock is right in the middle of the afternoon. Of course, at 4 o'clock, you've got the idea of going to the beach. So I am very tempted, very, very tempted. Once again, I'm probably going to think about maybe asking you guys to tell me what time would be better to hold these lessons. I do realize 4 o'clock is right in the middle of the afternoon and it is sunny. So I'm sure plenty of you would much prefer to be at the beach. So let me know if you guys have any ideas or any suggestions. I do know some students obviously have the intensive class in the afternoon. Off the top of my head, I sometimes wonder whether lessons late morning, like 11 o'clock, might be better, or if earlier afternoon, maybe at 3 o'clock, for example, might be better. Anyway, let's get into today's lesson. So, might. We can use might to talk about things in the present, past, and future. But first of all, we need to understand what might means. So, might. When you use might, this does have a very similar meaning to maybe. So here you're talking about a possibility. Now, when you use might, if you're thinking of a percentage, you're thinking of anything from 40 to maybe 50%, usually. So 40%, 50%. Now, how can we use it, first of all, in the present? Because that's probably the best place to start. Okay, so to talk about something in the present, for example, you can say, for instance, the question might be, for example, where is John, for example? And you can reply saying, I think he might be downstairs. I think he might be downstairs. So he may be downstairs. It's possible he's downstairs. The important thing is you are also saying you don't know the actual answer. You don't know the actual answer. And that's very important. So he might be downstairs. Or maybe, let's think of another one. I think Toby is going out with, let's think of a woman's name. Let's go with Alice. So the sentence is, I think Toby is going out with Alice. Okay, so you can reply saying, So this is how we can use it in a negative way. That might not be the case. Now, what is case? Okay, case simply means situation. That might not be the case. Oh, really? Why not? Well, and then you go into your conversation. Again, you're not saying Toby is not going out with Alice. You're saying might. So it's a possibility. You have reason to think that is not the case. Now, how can we talk about the future, for example? So what we need to do with the future, you can create the sentence very similar to a future simple. You're just replacing will with might. So I might go to the party later. Now, again, it's really important to remember later is a future time marker. Whenever it comes to time, be really careful to look at your time marker. In this case, later. So we know the party is not now. We know the party is later. So you're talking about a future time. You haven't made your decision yet. You don't know. You probably think to yourself, I might. I don't know. I don't really feel like a party, but I know some friends will be there. I don't know yet. Okay. Another example, for example, you could say, I might not go home for Christmas. I might not go home for Christmas. So again, we're looking at a future simple, and that's how we do it. sorry, you're looking at the construction. Very similar to a future simple, except instead of using will or won't, you're using might not. You can see I'm not going to contract this. I'm not going to say might not. I can't even contract it really, but I can't contract it like the modal verb will and won't. I'm not going to contract that. Now you might ask, but can we use this in a continuous, for example? Well, let's have a little look. Alejandra says, the pronunciation is different. Might go, might not. The only part of the pronunciation, Alejandra, that might change is how much we say the T in might. Now, it's very normal to drop the sound of T when saying might. So, for instance, if we say might go or might not, okay. If I'm saying might go, you can hear that I'm probably not saying the T. Now, I can say might go or might not. But if you hear that, then I'm probably really stressing the modal verb might. I'm really making it clear that I'm saying the word might. But if I'm saying things normally, there's a very good chance that a native speaker will drop the T. They'll go from they'll drop the T and they'll go straight from the I sound to the go, or my go, might not. And there's a really small sound in the middle that it's very difficult to hear. It's a glottal sound, but it's very difficult to hear. But effectively, it sounds like might not, might go, might stay, might wait. Okay, so it's the T sound is often dropped and replaced, either completely left out, or sometimes it's replaced with this glottal sound, which is very, very it's very difficult to hear. So Stefano says, first time for me to learn the use of might for the future. So this is it. You can talk about might when talking about the future. And again, the time marker makes a really big difference. I might not go later. You are talking about the future. And that's the important thing with today's lesson. Are you talking about the past? Are you talking about the present? Or are you talking about the future? For instance, if we talk about the president election in the US, you can say, I think Trump, for instance, might lose the election. Now, you're using might, and we know the election is in the future. And you're using might to talk about a possible future. So that's the important thing. You are using it to talk about a possible future. Again, you can say Trump might not win the election in November, for example. Now, I think I spelled November wrong there. November. Yes, I did spell November wrong, I think. Okay. November. There we go. That's much better. So, Alejandra, good question. What is the difference between could and might? That's a really good question, Alejandra. And I know plenty of students ask this question. So what is the difference? Now, it depends on the context. It does depend on the context. Okay. So, for example, if I say, let's take this sentence, okay? Trump could lose the election. So we're saying it's a possibility. Now, here we have to think about how strong is could. Could is, in this case, definitely 50%. If we say Trump might lose the election, What I would say here is this, and think of it this way. Okay, you're talking about a possibility. But the difference here is, and I would say here, for example, might is 40%, not 50% here. And this is now what I'm going to explain. If you use could, you are talking about the possibility. Might, okay, you're talking about a possibility, but if you use might has the sound of you doubt. You doubt it more. Now, when I say doubt, it means you don't think. You think. Let's put it this way: the chances, or the percentage. Okay, so the percentage of something happening or not is weaker. So think of it this way: might is weaker than could. So if I say, well, Trump could lose the election, I'm not saying I doubt it's not a strong doubt. I'm saying it's a possibility. I'm not saying for a moment that I think it's going to happen. Now, if I start to say might, this is because I am beginning to doubt. I'm beginning to think that it's not just 50-50 anymore. I have a stronger feeling that this might not happen, or this might happen. It's a difference in saying, for instance, I could go, yeah, you know what, I could meet you for a drink later. That's just straight up 50-50. I'm saying a possibility. But if I say, I don't know, I might go, you can hear that there's the element of doubt. Think of it this way. You ask someone out on a date. So, do you want to have a drink with me? Do you want to have a drink with me later? 2 responses. Sounds great. I could be working late, but I'll let you know. Okay. So you can see here that this is not a no. You don't need to think, right, she has or he has said no. But if you use, Stefano says, can I also say Trump may not win the election? Yes, that's absolutely fine. May not. Depends how you say it. It could be the same as could in terms of 50-50, but you could easily make it less, closer to 40. Now, if you say might not, do you want to have a drink with me later? I might not be able to. I might have work. So if I ask someone, do you want to have a drink with me? And they say, I might not be able to, I might have work. I would think, okay, they probably won't meet me for a drink. If they say could, I think, okay, that's more of a possibility. But if they say might, I know it's about 40%, and I think, okay, this probably, it's possible, but I don't think it will happen. So that's a really big difference. You doubt more. What is the percentage of may? Again, it depends on the context. I would say may is more likely. May is closer to could in 50%. It may happen, it may not. So that's one example. I should also say, by the way, that again, if you put other words around, like I think, for example, I think makes a really big difference to the meaning of what you're saying. But may in this case, when you're talking about the present or a possible future, may has a closer relation with could at 50-50. Might is usually the weaker of the 3. Again, if I actually, a really good example again, If someone you love is dying and the doctor says he could make it, meaning he could survive, okay, okay, that's good. Okay, he could. If someone says, okay, he may make it. All right, okay, good. And then someone says, okay, he might make it. Oh, right. Okay, might. Okay, so it's a possibility. Yes. Are you confident? No, I'm not as confident as I was yesterday. So you can hear the difference in meaning. So that is why in a lot of grammar textbooks, you will see that might is more around the 40% and may and could is closer to the 50%. Now, we've had a little look at might being used in the present, might being used in the future. But what about the past? How can you talk about the past with might? Well, for instance, that might have happened if we didn't have the money. Okay, so here we're having to create a conditional as well. So let me take you through this. Okay, we've got the word might, and we know that might is like 40%. Okay, plus here you've got a present perfect. Okay, so that might have happened, that might not have happened. Okay, plus if, plus past simple. It's quite a complicated one in terms of the conditional. But what are you saying? You're using it to talk about a possible past. You don't think that possible past was ever really going to happen, but you're saying, okay, that it might have if something didn't happen. Again, if you're a detective or a policeman and you're looking at the murder scene, you might say, he might have killed her with a gun, but I can't see any bullets. For example, he might have killed her with a gun, but I can't see any bullets. Again, we don't have a lot of evidence. It's an idea, but we're not very sure at the moment. We're not confident. If I say not very sure, it means 40% or less. If I say I'm very sure, then we're talking about being confident at like maybe 75% plus. Okay, so you've got this word sure that you need to think about. Okay, let me help you out here. I'm going to write some sentences. And first of all, you just need to complete the sentence with the correct words. Okay, let's see how you do. Now, the past, to talk about the past with might is the hardest. And it usually does involve trying to make a conditional. But let's see how you guys go. And then we'll move on to present. And then we'll move on to future. So we've got, okay, I might have if I didn't see the okay, guys, you've got the first one. I put in might for you already. So I might have blank. You need to think of your present perfect have plus your past participle. So you need to think of the past participle of crash, like a car and two cars crashing. If I, again, we need to make a past simple, and here you need to think of the past of do not see the other car. And then if you like, you can tell me how sure the person is. Is he very sure or is he not very sure? Is this 40% or 75%? So let me know what you think. Alejandra crashed, well done, and didn't. Okay, well done, Alejandra. That's off to a very good start. Let's see if other students agree with you. Don't forget, let's see. Yes, don't forget where the apostrophe goes for didn't. So the apostrophe goes after the N, not before the N. But nonetheless, well done, Alejandra. Good stuff. Stefano says, I might have crashed even if I don't see other car. Okay, you're quite close. I mean, if you said, I might have crashed even if I didn't see other cars, that would make more sense because the second part of this needs to be in the past. You need to use a past simple. And it sounds here like you're going to have to use the plural of car. Irina says crashed and didn't. Good, well done. Excellent. So we're off to a good start. Let's go again with another one. So okay, so again, we're still talking about might, but you now need to try and think, okay, where do I put might in this sentence? And again, you've got this present perfect. Have, and now you need to think of the past participle of miss, his exams. If he, again, this needs to be a past simple, so he sick. It is a conditional, so you need to think of the past of are, for example, or is. So yeah, let's see what you guys come out with here. This type of grammar can be can be a little bit difficult. It's certainly something that you can, I think you guys can probably do over here in this exercise. Trying to create from your own is going to be a little bit more difficult, but this is that's fine. I'll then put in off. Then afterwards, I'll see if you guys can get the meaning over here as well, because that's important. So question 2 to this would be, I think that would be my question to see if you guys understand the context of this sentence. So did he miss the exam? And that would be my question for you guys to answer, just to see if you understand the nature, the meaning of this sentence. So Stefano says he might have not missed the exams if. Ooh, okay, you're going to change your answer. Fair enough. Irina says he might have missed the exam if he. Ooh, okay, you've gone for would. Alejandra has gone with might, miss, and wasn't. You're really close there, Alejandra. You just need to think of the past participle of miss. What I would say with you, Irina, is think again about would. If plus would, that's a really difficult one. And it's very, very rare that we can ever put if and would close together. You can use could, like if I could, for example. That is possible. If the pronoun was you, you could use would. I mean, that's an exception if you wouldn't mind for a request. But in this sort of case, you need to rethink would, because that's not going to work here. Stefano says he might have not missed his exams if he hadn't. Ooh, close. Okay, yeah, okay. You've gone for past, but you've used hadn't. Now, if you use hadn't, the next one is going to have to be a past participle. You're actually trying to make a past perfect rather than just a past simple there. And Alejandra might miss have been. Not quite. You're all very close though. Like all of you've got like 2 out of 3. In a strange way, if you had mixed your answers together, you would have had the correct answer together. So what's the correct answer? He might have missed his exams if he, for instance, you could say if he wasn't sick, that's one option. If he weren't sick, that's another option. And finally, if you want to go with what Stefano was trying to write, that would have to be if he might not have missed his exams if he hadn't been sick. Now, if I go back to what I written, he might have missed the exams if he were sick. This changes it. So if I use the past simple here, okay, it's definitely he might have not missed his exams if he hadn't been sick. Yes, that's a little bit better. I would say he might not have. Might and not always keep together. So if you use might and not, the negative, put them together, don't separate them with have. Now, I just want to explain to you guys how the meaning changes. So if I say he might have missed the exam if he weren't, sorry, this should be positive, if he were sick. That was the correct answer, sorry. That's the answer I wanted to go for. And then we go for he might have missed the exam if he, we can't use the negative because if you're going to make the past participle, sorry, then if he had been sick. Now, what am I getting at here? Yes, you can make the sentence with the if plus past simple and if plus past perfect. But what I really want to know from you guys is this. Did he miss the exam? So if you're saying he might have missed the exam if he were sick, if he were sick, he might have missed the exam if he had been sick. Did he miss the exam? The answer in this case is no. He did not miss the exam. Now I'm going to do one more of this and then we're going to move on to the present and future. Okay? Stefano says, is your might plus past simple a sort of mixed conditional? Yes, it is. It is a mixed conditional. That's why it's annoying. And don't worry about the term mixed conditional to everybody else. Don't worry about that. What I want to see from here, though, is can you understand the meaning and at least what you're meant to read? Okay, so let's go again. So she might. So she. So don't forget, you've got might plus present perfect plus if plus past simple. That's what you need to go with. So this is going to be the last one of using the might to talk about a past time. It's the hardest of the 3. I'm not going to lie, this is the hardest of the 3. But you've got the structure, might plus present perfect plus if plus past simple. And the question is, after you complete the sentence, the question is, did she leave him? That's the main question. That's the important part of the meaning. Did this happen? And if you use might, that usually tells you what the answer is going to be. So let's see what your answers are. And then we'll move on to the present, which is probably the easiest. And then we'll move on and finish off with the future, which is comfortable. It's not too difficult. This is definitely the hardest use of might. So Alejandra, might leaved node. Oh, you're really, really close. You're really, really close, Alejandra. I'm going to have to say really well done. In terms of understanding the text, oh, you're so close again. In terms of understanding the text, I think you understand it. What you just need to think about is this. The past of leave is left, just like your left hand. And you've got new. Sorry, you got know, new, and known. So those are your options there, Alejandra. Stefano says she might have left him if she knew he was cheating on her. Okay, Stefano, let me know what you think about the question afterwards. So did she leave him? Irina says might lived new. You're really close. I can see here the issue is the past of leave. So you've got leave in the present, left in the past. It's an irregular verb, and it's a little bit annoying. But those are your options. Leave, left. So Stefano says, yes, she left him. Oh, okay, I see. Let's see if you agree with her. Think about it very carefully. You're using might. She might have left him if she knew he was cheating on her. She might have. We're not saying she did. We're not saying she did leave him. We're saying she might have. So that's 40%. We're saying it's a possibility, but we don't know for certain. So just have a little think. In reality, did she leave him? That's the question. We'll see if other people agree with you, Stefano. But again, these mixed conditionals can be quite difficult. Okay. I'll give you 10 more seconds, and then I'll tell you the answer, and then we'll move on to the present and then the future. Okay, so the answer is, Stefano says, but might implies a negative preview. Might does imply something that is negative. Having said that, I'm just going to give you two examples so you can see, okay? The answer here is she might have left him if she knew he was cheating on her. Now, if you use might have something, okay, this means the action did not happen. If, however, you say she might not have left him if she knew the truth, if you use the negative in the past, like might in this case, might not plus present perfect, we are saying, therefore, the action did happen. So if you use might have in the past, the action did not happen. If you use the negative might not have, it means the action did happen. And that's why this is quite a difficult one, because it's reversed. The negative means the action happened. Sorry, the negative means the action happened. The positive means the action didn't happen. But like I said, this is the hardest of the three. Let's look at the present simple, a little bit easier. Okay. So I might a taxi in a couple of minutes because I'm quite tired. I'm going to leave it to you guys. You can choose your verb here. Now, this is, if you remember last week, I spoke about will. You might think, oh, Richard, are you talking a little bit about the future? Here we're talking about the immediate future because we've used the term couple of minutes. So it is relevant to the present. But let's see what verb you choose to use here. And let me know. I mean, again, this is might, this is 40%. We're saying I might go. For instance, I might a taxi in a couple of minutes. I might take a taxi. Okay, yes, that makes sense, Arena. And again, it's about 40%. You're probably beginning to think about it. It doesn't mean you will go in 2 minutes, obviously, but there's something happening in your mind about thinking of leaving. I might catch a taxi in a couple of minutes. Yes, Stefano, that works. I might have a taxi in a couple of minutes. I think if you use have, then you'd have to use have. I might have to get a taxi. You'd have to have a little bit more there. If you choose to use have to. Find. Find would make more sense. Find would definitely make more sense. So I might find a taxi in a couple of minutes. I might call a taxi in a couple of minutes. I might take a taxi in a couple of minutes. These words make sense. If you use have, then you're probably going to say, I might have to get a taxi in a couple of minutes. That's quite a strange one, though, might have to, because at one point, at first, you're saying it's a possibility. But then you're adding have to, and that have to can be quite strong. Nonetheless, well done, guys. That's good. Let's go for more. Let's this time go for clear future. Okay, guys, you can finish the sentence here. So you need to use might, and you're talking about a possible future. It's an idea in your mind. You're talking about September, so in a few months' time, and you're thinking of going to Greece. So I might go to Greece on holiday in September. Well done, Alejandra. Good stuff. Yes, that is correct. That definitely makes sense. Good stuff. Let's see what else. Let's see what other students say. Irina says, I might go as well. Yeah, I might go is probably the first thing you would probably think of. I might well go to Greece. I might well go to Greece. I see what you're going for there, Stefano. You can add very, actually. It probably makes a little bit more sense adding I might very well go to Greece. It's similar to I might end up going to Greece. But I see what you're going for there, Stefano. Okay, guys, really good. Well done. So I think it's safe to say that we know how to use might in the present, which is great. It seems that we know that we have an idea of what the difference is between might, may, and could. We seem to know how to use might to talk about a possible future action. it seems that we have a beginning idea of how we can use might in the past, but that's really difficult. Might in the past is difficult. And you don't, look, usually you don't learn that until you're up intermediate, really. So for those of you who are not up intermediate or advanced, and you had a go at using might in the past, really, to talk about the past, really, really well done. Like the video for yourselves, because you did a fantastic, fantastic job. What I would say to you guys is, for in your spare time, one of the best things you can do is definitely spend time learning your irregular verbs, like leave and left, for example. Those are new, know, new, known. Knowing your irregular verbs can make a really, really big difference. But really well done, guys. I think you all did very well. A special thank you to Stefano, Irina, Alejandra, the other Irina as well, and anyone else who participated in the live chat comments today. Thank you so much. You did really, really well. For those of you who are watching at home, thank you very much. Even if you didn't participate, thank you very much. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Share the video and share our channel with other people who you know would probably quite like to learn English. I will be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock with another lesson. Tomorrow's lesson at 4 o'clock is how to talk about different ideas. What we're going to tackle tomorrow is language we can use to talk about ideas, even if they are ideas and opinions that we ourselves don't necessarily agree with. So we're going to look at language you can use when you're talking to people and you think differently to the other person. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. You too. Thank you very much. Irina, nice one. TQ, thank you. Nice. You remember the lesson from yesterday. Great stuff. Yes, thank you very much. And have a really good evening and see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.